Welcome, everybody, to Cup with Gup on this Wednesday, November 17th, 2021. We are here to deep dive into final thoughts for the RSM Classic, our final PGA Tour event of the 2021 calendar year. Should be a fun one, certainly going to be interesting, seeing how the weather draws play out, if they play out at all. Right now, use the code CUP, get 20% off, includes a free 7-day trial off any package you would like. Full site, get you all the tools, the green machine optimizer, all sports included, or you can do content analysis only, and you won't have access to the tools. Either way, though, you can use CUP, get 20% off, includes a free 7-day trial. I have the NFL Listener League in the description. If you want to jump in that real quick, I will have one out for Thanksgiving Day as well. Rate and review us on iTunes. Appreciate everybody that did that in the last couple of weeks. Go ahead and do it again. I'll be giving away some more giveaways next week leading up to Turkey Day, Thanksgiving slate for DK. Rate and review or subscribe to us on YouTube as well. Like the channel. In the comments, leave one of the three answers. How much are you factoring the weather at all this week? Not at all, some, or huge factor. Just leave me one of those. That'll get you into that drawing as well. Have to be subscribed to us as well. I'll be giving those away next week for the Thanksgiving slate on DK. Underdog. Join Underdog now. Use the code GUP. The link is in the description. Get a free dollar for dollar match up to $100. They have pick'ems for every sport: college football, PGA, MLB, NBA, NFL, NHL, soccer, esports. Most people are familiar with them because of the best balls. Those will be coming out for next season. They anticipate around May or so. We'll have you covered there. We can build some bankroll up over there in the meantime. You can get up to 20x your money on the pick'ems. I like that you can mix and match the sports here. So if you like a little bit of college football, PGA, NFL on certain nights, NBA, whatever it is, you can mix and match parlays, and it just multiplier. Everyone you add to it adds to the multiplier. Pretty simple, nice app they have going for it as well. Link is in the description. Code is GUP. Get a free dollar for dollar match up to $100. Updated thoughts for the RSM. This will probably be an interesting discussion this afternoon into this evening. Some people don't ever hardly look at weather. Some people overanalyze it. Some people, there's all kinds of different ways you can go about it. Most weeks I don't, not to this point where I've actually done heat maps, put them out there, included with the final thoughts. I'll be monitoring that. It's an unusual week with two different courses. That's the biggest factor to me this week. It's clear that Friday is going to be much tougher conditions to play. Thursday is going to be fairly nice. Like, it is beautiful today out there. Pretty similar tomorrow, and then it turns Thursday night going into Friday. The wind's going to go from the south to the north. Could have some strong winds Friday, especially Friday noon and moving on up to 25, 30 mile an hour gust. Probably impact Seaside more, being on the way that course sets out. You could take it one or two ways, really. The easiest thing to do if you wanted to is to break your pool up. If you're doing MME, if you have, call it 100 lineups just for easy math, you could do 60 lineups one way, 20 lineups the other way, and then 20 lineups mixed. Certain thing like that. The disadvantage part this week, for me at least, is a lot of the guys that I liked are in what I consider not the greatest draw on the week. I guess the biggest thing is what most people could go back and forth on is what course you want to play in the best conditions. The ones I've talked to and the contacts that I have, and then guys are just really good golfers. But I have several pro tours as well. Overwhelmingly, all of them would say in this kind of setup, they would prefer to get the easier course, quote unquote, in the better weather. Especially the way it looks here, where the harder day is going to be Friday, as far as weather goes. So if you get out on plantation, which historically has played easier. Last year was really, really close, and it has been close, but a lot of that had to do, I think, was after the redo and the greens being firm, stuff like that. There's still 4 par 5s compared to 2, so I'm going to take that any time I'm going to say that you have a better scoring chances, especially DK wise. You may not score net scoring because you may, I mean, Plantation can still have some tough holes, or you may get a double or something. I just think there's more ops for birdies and stuff, which in DraftKings is what we care about, and also getting through the cut. I'm going to go with Plantation as the easier course here, especially when you look at it considering the way that the winds could affect Seaside more Friday. So they get out there Thursday, they get their scores in. They still got to play well. So, I mean, that's the other factor when I'm doing this stuff. Like, I'm not going to play – I never adjust my rankings or anything. I just break the rankings down within the heat maps and kind of let you guys go with them. And if you're pre-members, you know we've had them before. They've been extremely helpful. We've done really well on weeks like this. Doesn't mean it'll be perfect this week by any means. And it's uncomfortable not playing guys because you like them all week, and then you go, man, he's literally going to be playing, you know, Plantation where he should be scoring in the worst of the winds on Friday. So it's not an easy thing to do by any means. And some people just say, hey, I'm just not going to worry about it. I'll let it fall where it falls, and I'm just going to play my guys. Certainly can get that. I mean, there's many different ways you can go about it. But for me, I think there's a clear advantage to the guys being able to score Thursday. It's going to be great scoring conditions on Plantation. And then they, you know, especially if the earlier they go out Friday morning, the better, because it won't be as bad. It'll start picking up, you know, probably when most of those guys that go out at 9:30 are making the turn or so they won't have as many holes in that 20 plus mile an hour wind, you know, setting. And the other difficult about this week is that because you're on split courses, you don't have a big true where guys are going out at, you know, 8 and some guys are going out at 1. Everybody's going out within 2 hours of each other. This is more about that there's 2 different courses that are set up differently, so on and so forth. If they were playing the exact same course this week, it wouldn't be as big of a deal to me because Thursday is going to be whatever. And then Friday, you have a little bit of time where you got an advantage, but it's pretty much just going to play tough for everybody. So if they're playing the same courses both days, it'd be like any other week where I go, yeah, there's an advantage Friday, but everybody's probably going to play in it. So I'm not really factoring it because Thursday there is no advantage. It looks to be very, very light winds everywhere. So there are some that will come back and say, all right, what about the guys going out on Seaside in the easier conditions, get us good score, and just buckle down on Plantation, and hopefully, you know, that doesn't bother them. I can see that as well. And in my coding and stuff in the heat maps, I've kind of talked about that, and I put in the write-up I did is that I'm not eliminating all of Seaside guys at all, and my heat maps kind of show that. I think that can be a scenario where guys, you can mix and match some guys in there, basically ranked the entire field in color coding based on the weather. But it did, you know, change up some of my thoughts for the week because there's guys that are clearly going to have the worst of it and, you know, potentially might not want to be on them as much. You know, certainly can see many different sides of it. So there's no perfect answer, and certainly not saying I am, but always give the members, you know, these on weeks like this, it can kind of help guide when you factor in draw, ownership, all that kind of stuff, and see the spots where you best see fit. For me, guys that have moved up with all that said, I like English. Thought he'd be more popular. I don't think he's going to be extremely popular. Not like some of these other guys that are coming in. Webb still looks to be, you know, pretty popular. Russell Henley, Scheffler, which we knew coming in with great form. Corey Connor's been talked up a lot. Cam Smith, you know, those kind of guys are garnishing ownership. So certainly, I think Webb or Harris being up in that 10K range, he might be one of the lower owns there. I like him. Henley's moved up for me, mainly because he does get Plantation Thursday. He's one of the guys I'll go to a little more than I thought I would have. Patrick Rogers is a guy. He's a guy that's starting on Seaside, but, you know, again, he's the first one off Friday on Plantation. So if he does this thing Thursday, could still get a pretty good amount of round in Friday on Plantation before it gets too windy. And guys can still score in the wind. I get all that, but I do like him. I don't think he'll probably be sub 8, 9, 10%. He moved up in the rankings for me. And then Kazire is a guy that I like, but I still like him even more, 7,100. I think he's got a great draw. I liked him already. He just continues to be a good play for me. Fade moved down. Webb's a guy that, for me, would have the perfect weather draw if my predictions are kind of there. But I'm still not going to pay up for him. I don't know. I'll just go elsewhere probably. I may be light at best, but, 10-7. He hasn't played a lot at all this year. I know he gets to this place and can do well, but he's got a top 5 at that price, and he's going to garnish ownership and could do any more if people others in the industry want to go with a similar weather draw deal. So he's one I'm not on. Connors is a guy that I had moved down a little bit because I didn't think he'd be as popular as what he's coming in at. And I like him, but he's a guy that's going out almost last Friday on Plantation. It's just a good spot that, he can still do well, but he's a high owned guy that, I'm iffy on his weather condition there. And, I may pass on him. Adam Scott, very similar to Connors there. Not as much ownership, but more than I would have thought. And then McCarthy is a guy that I don't mind his weather draw per se. He goes off second Friday on Plantation, but steamed up very well this week. A lot of talk about him. I could see him in that 11 to 14% owned range. So he's a guy that I can just pass on. Names that kind of popped to me, Ludwig Aberg. I talked about him several weeks ago when he made it in. I liked him there. He did it again this week, getting in late. Probably won't be talked about much because of that. Great MME play. Don't know if I get there for like a 1-3 max type deal, but he certainly did well last time he made it in. Lahiri is a guy that moved up for me. I think he could do well. He's been, showed some flashes here in the fall. Very, very low owned. Scott Piercy, a good win player. He gets Plantation early, could go on Seaside Friday. Hopefully, grind out there, shoot whatever, even that day if that's good, and make it to the weekend. And that's one thing I hadn't even said. The weekend's still going to be strong wins. So you want players you think will do well in this. This isn't just Friday. Saturday is going to be just as strong. Finally dying down a little bit Sunday, but it's still going to be that north wind. So Piercy's a guy I like. And then Charles Howell III, just the veteran, flashed a little bit at Mayakoba. Plays this place well. Plays Plantation Thursday, then Seaside Friday. Below owned relative at that 7,800 mark. I like him. Kind of pop for me. Leverage plays in ownership this week. I talked to the members about it earlier on the final thoughts that when you get potential where people will start the chirping of draws and all that kind of stuff, it can make it difficult to project ownership because some people could just move off guys if they think they're going to play in the worst conditions or whatever. But as it stands right now, not factoring that, some potential leverage spots will be Norin, which I don't mind getting to him. Rose, I didn't like him anyways, and no one hardly does. There's a reason he's that low percent. I don't think I'll get to him. And then English is going to be one of the lowest in the 10K range as it sits right now. So those are some of your potential plays there. Monkey Knife Fight, link is in the description. You can get up to $100 free, dollar for dollar match with them as well. I have one play there this week with the weather and all that, not going big. A more or less pays 3 extra money. I'm going to go Usti and Connors under 18.5 birds. That's my one play this week. Use the code GUPS, GUPS, get a free dollar for dollar match up to $100. Tomorrow I will have Cup with Gup. I'll do the Thursday Night Football showdown thoughts, talk a little bit about this tournament, live update. We'll have the coin flip out tomorrow night. That's my breakdown, plays, fades, sleepers, values. I'll do the hot route with Ryan. We do the full main slate preview. That's gone really well. Have that out tomorrow afternoon. Friday, the read option with Bobby Berger, college football DFS main slate breakdown for Saturday. Lots going on this weekend. We got college football tonight. Tomorrow, obviously, NFL fires back up for week 11. PGA, it goes probably without saying. I do think tomorrow, I don't know if it's as big of an advantage Plantation showdown-wise, because I think a lot of people will do that. It won't, maybe not the worst thing to take, because the weather's going to be really good tomorrow. So I I still would lean with, because you get 4 par 5s, especially in a showdown slate where birdies are so important, that sure, there's going to be some guys on Seaside probably up there, top 10, top 20, but I think by and large, the best way would be go Plantation. And then surely Friday, with all those winds coming in and stuff, I think Seaside will play tougher, especially later. So it could be another deal where you go Plantation Thursday and Friday if you're doing round 1, round 2. If you have books that combine the first round leaders, I'd certainly take advantage of that with some Plantation guys. Most of them have caught on. The ones I use split it up, so there's first round leader odds just for each course separately, and that's how I did it this week. But I'm looking forward to it. I will be around pretty much all afternoon working on other stuff. If you guys have questions or you want to chat about, the draw, heat waves, all that kind of stuff in the premium Slack, go do that. Don't forget, rate and review us on iTunes, subscribe on YouTube, like this video, leave in the comments your factoring of the weather this week. I'll be giving away some stuff for the Thanksgiving Day slate next week. Appreciate you guys. Have a blessed evening. I'll see you tomorrow.